Okay, so there were a bunch of comments on the Overwatch forums about Symmetra's impending rework, and I thought that we should come and have a look at them, because they're quite interesting. First off, on moving Symmetra to the defense category and new turret changes. First off, right, thank God, finally. She hasn't been a support this entire time, but it's nice that Blizzard have finally acknowledged that. Only took them 2 years to get there, but we got there in the end. The thing that this is such like, it seems like such a benign issue, right, that she's in one category and she should be in the other. The thing is, it gives new players the wrong impression of the game, where they're like, oh, so we've got a healer and Symmetra, that's 2 supports. No, that's 1 support and 3 DPS in all likelihood, but, you know, whatever, we got there in the end. We currently have moved to the defense. We tried a healer version, which had her turrets healing instead of dealing damage, but it felt super awkward. I can't imagine why. It's nice that they have also accepted that if someone's going to be in the support category, they probably have to heal. That said, we are playing with a new way her turrets deploy. Instead of having them stick directly onto a wall herself, she can now fire an undeployed version like a projectile, which sticks to walls, ceilings, etc. Once it sticks, it will unfold like it does on the wall currently when she builds them. That's like an incredible change to Symmetra. In hindsight, it seems so obvious to just have her, like, chuck them at a wall instead of having to actually physically go up to the wall and attach them. Like, if you attach that to Symmetra right now, that would be, like, a drastic improvement on the hero already. This helps for a bunch of reasons, but one of the big ones is that it makes her a lot easier to play on offense, or just being able to reposition her turrets much more easily / quickly. On turret projectiles. Currently, they will travel effectively infinitely in a straight time. Think of them like fire rockets. The projectile speed isn't super fast, so enemy players can see them coming. They currently can't shoot them out of the air, though, but we're still iterating and may allow this. I feel like they have to allow that, because that's so weird that you can't shoot them out of the air, because what exactly about them is different once they've attached the wall? They're still the same item, right? And frankly, if they can shoot them out of the air, they probably deserved it. Because I'm just imagining watching this projectile slowly come through the air and just having to watch it and then be like, alright, now that it's unfolded and hitting me, I can break it. It wouldn't really make much difference, but frankly, like, they should be able to shoot them out of the air. The problem is then that any, like, well, they're healthier now, but, like, trash damage could easily break them by accident. But then I just tell the Symmetra to be less bad, so... On other turret changes. No, there are other changes to her turrets as well. We've lowered the max number to 3, both that she can hold and that can be deployed, but we've increased their damage and slow potential. They also have 30 health currently, though that number will probably change over time and as we test. They still die quite easily, but there is a significant difference between dying to any damage and just being very low health. It's true, one of the things that upsets me the most about Symmetra's turrets currently is that McCree can throw his flashbang into a room and just immediately clear off all of the turrets because they only have 1 hit point. Or Winston can, like, my favorite is on Eichenwald, if is like all on the bridge, you can just jump over the bridge, look down for half a second to break them all as you fly right past it. Like, it's the fact that they break from any damage at all is a big thing. But also, if they're going to be healthier, yeah, you kind of need less of them. I've been of the opinion that you could lower her turret number to, like, 2, remove their damage, and just massively increase the slow, and that would have probably been a good change anyway, so... On the impact of having less turrets. So far we found the turrets to be much more powerful this way, not less. Keep in mind it's almost like you're deploying 2 turrets at a time now, since they're more powerful individually. You lose a little bit of map coverage, but overall the turrets are actually more impactful, not less. Plus, spending less time redeploying turrets frees you up to do other things at the same time, rather than spending so much focus on moving around, trying to keep your turret nest up somewhere useful. It's one of those things where people will immediately have this knee-jerk reaction, fuck, 3 is half of 6, oh my god, that's terrible. Even though the actual turrets could end up being like 4 times as powerful. So, but... yeah, having less turrets, but have them be stronger, I would rather have. On photon projector changes. Yes, we're still trying some things, but what's working pretty well right now is her primary fire changed to no longer lock on, but works as a straight beam that is fairly thick and has increased range, so Zarya. Yeah. But it still has the potential to gain extra damage by dealing damage like it does now, but instead of gaining 30, 60, 120, it is now 65, 130, 195. which, if it doesn't lock on anymore, like, if you have to actually aim it to do the extra damage, I'm okay with that, because the worst part is just having the Symmetra jump around you like a fucking gibbon, and, like, it doesn't matter that she doesn't have to aim, so it doesn't matter. However, it now takes a combined 2 seconds of damage to level up to the next tier of damage instead of 1 second. This means the weapon has significantly more potential, but it is also more difficult to get it to max power. Also, when hitting a barrier, it currently generates ammo instead of consuming it. Which I guess makes sense, you're like leeching the life off of it, really. Which, I mean, you know, constructed light. Lore-wise, it makes perfect sense, you know, and I don't think it matters gameplay-wise. This means not only is she good at taking down barriers themselves, but she is good at just generating charge off barriers and using that charge to take down enemies as well. Her alternate fire is still a charge-up large projectile, but it has a bunch of important changes as well. First off, it charges to max charge in 1 second, down from 2 seconds. Next, the projectile speed has been increased significantly, which is a terrifying thought. Currently, it's changed from 10 ms to 30 ms. Oh god. I was thinking about, like, I can sort of picture Symmetra's orb moving 3 times as fast, you know, oh god. Lastly, instead of piercing enemies, it now impacts enemies, environments, and explodes, dealing area damage around it. We've been heavily iterating on how much damage this ball does now, but a direct shot has been hovering in the air of 130-ish, with a large percent of the damage coming from a direct impact. I'll say it here again, we are still pretty heavily iterating on this stuff, blah blah blah. I'm fine with her doing more damage, but requiring some amount of effort to actually aim it. Like, I don't have any complaint about that. The orb moving that fast is terrifying, but if it doesn't pierce through people anymore, also, I'm kind of okay with it. But then I do think about just, like, her chucking it into like, one of the choke points you're trying to push out of. Like, I think about, like, Numbani, the staircase going up onto the balcony. I'm like, oh god, that sounds terrifying, especially if they also have a Junkrat, right? On teleporter and photon barrier changes. I guess at this point I probably should just have posted everything at the same time. Yeah. Her teleporter is moving to her E ability, and photon barrier is moving to her ult, but these have massive changes as well. The teleporter now works as follows. You place the exit like you normally do, except you can place it up to 25 meters away instead of only right in front of you. That's quite far, that's almost coalescence long, so when you place the exit, the entrance automatically gets built right in front of you instead of at your spawn. It lasts only a short time, but allies can use it freely, as they normally do. But there are some new things that can teleport as well. We're experimenting with what works and what doesn't currently, but you can teleport things such as Torbjorn turrets. Oh god. D.Va's exploding mech. No. No, that one's gotta go. That's not okay. That one's not okay. That one's gotta change. Just fucking lob it. You would have so little time to react to the mech suddenly being right next to you that I'm not okay with that one. Junkrat tire, etc. I'm like, Junkrat tire's already hard enough to break, who cares? Torbjorn's turret would be funny. D.Va's exploding mech is not okay. That's not okay. This has led to some sneaky fun plays that are really unique to her. It also allows you to get onto high ground on offense with a comp that might otherwise have trouble doing so. Which is probably going to be, like, the reason to pick Symmetra in a lot of situations. Because there are a lot of situations where if the offensive team could get a soldier onto high ground freely, it would be really easy to win, right? So that being able to just teleport immobile people up onto high ground is, like, not really okay, but definitely interesting. But I worry that alone might make Symmetra must pick in some situations, and on offense of all things. But I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes, seeing as, you know, the health has been lowered to 300 and the entrance is now attackable as well. If either dies, the other is destroyed as well, as only makes sense. Her photon barrier has been moved to her ultimate and now is now very different instead. Instead of placing a moving barrier, she places a static barrier that effectively is infinite in size and has 5,000 health. She places this wall much like Mei places her wall, which means you can place it at some range, and you can also change the orientation. So, pick Sombra. But, you know, on her new ultimate photon barrier, it has actually been super interesting in playtest. There have been a lot of different ways to use it, and exactly where you place it is super important. You can do stuff like throw it into a fight from spawn like a Hanzo ult, because it spans across entire maps. Currently, shield generator is gone at the moment. So, you know, it all sounds fantastic. You know, if you play Symmetra currently, you must just be like, fuck yeah. Because it just kind of sounds like an objective improvement, really. Like, yeah, okay, now you have to aim a little bit to do mad damage, but you do more mad damage if you can aim just, like, decently well, seeing as every tier has been doubled. Tier 2 is better than Tier 3 currently, so, you know. However, like, I wouldn't be surprised if those numbers went down, because if the beam is fairly thick, then she can, that's, like, a lot of fucking damage, and, like, she has to... You have to have some kind of skill involved to be able to just do 130 damage per second, you know. Anyway, even though it takes longer to charge up to, I guess, you know, whatever. So, it sounds like an objective improvement, and, I suspect that, so far, Overwatch hasn't had fantastic luck with reworks, because, Mercy was broken as hell. I expect Hanzo to be broken as hell, and based off this, I'm expecting Symmetra to be broken as hell. So, so far we might end up being 3-0 on reworks at this point. But who knows? Maybe that just means in another year Symmetra will get another rework. Wouldn't that be incredible? Maybe that's what we can aim for, just getting Symmetra reworked once a year. That would be incredible. So it sounds great if you play Symmetra. I suspect that it's going to be absolutely terrible for the health of the game overall, but, you know, on paper it sounds very overpowered, but then, like, a lot of things can sound OP on paper, so we'll kinda, I guess we'll see, especially since, like, all of this is still, like, not finalized, but, like, I have a very bleak outlook for the future of Overwatch after reading this, mostly just because, like, oh, fuck, oh, god, just, like, teleport these immobile people up onto high ground, no problem. Like, alright, yeah, you can break the teleporter. Fucking 300 health, you're not exactly just gonna break it immediately upon appearing, are you? So suddenly... Just think about trying to defend Dorado, right? And you're defending on the high ground as usual. Symmetra throws her teleporter up onto the balcony from outside of your field of view, because she's still around the corner. And then just, like, Reinhardt, Zarya, Soldier, Reaper, Symmetra, Lucio just come out of the doorway and just, like, charge at you, right? Okay, it'd be like Reaper, Symmetra, Lucio, Moira. But, like, just imagine they all just appear on the balcony and sprint across at you. That'd be absolutely terrifying. You know, at the same time, though, if you can get that degree of coordination going with people, you probably deserve to be able to make that kind of play, but, like, it just sounds unbelievable to be able to just create teleporters like that. Oh, and then just, like, teleport fucking Diva's exploding mech. Like, Jesus Christ. You gotta calm the fuck down. What would be really cool is if Reinhardt started charging, and then you just put the teleporter down, and then suddenly, bam, he's up there on the high ground. That'd be sick. You know... I'll take anything to make Reinhardt's charge even more satisfying to land, but, you know. So it all sounds great if you play Symmetra, but I think it sounds terrible. Let me know what you think, though. I think, based off of the, discourse in the Discord, people were, generally not super into it looked like. So I kind of get the, right, let's have a gander at what we got here. As a Symmetra man, but they shouldn't be this drastic. Yeah. Remover is most Symmetra mains love about her. I feel like your opinion will change when you can put down an infinite-sized 1,000 health shield until they pick Sombra. Increasing her gun, yeah, is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, like, it better be hard. Like, to be fair, you've got to get you've got to charge it up to do that. But, like, at the same time, it better be hard to land. Feels like a new character instead of a rework. Isn't that kind of the fucking point? But, you know, whatever. To stop calling it, yeah. As a Symmetra, I'm a bit disappointed. Y'all so wrong. So wrong. I think the new teleporter will be difficult to use for getting through chokes. Nah, I don't think it's gonna be difficult to do that. Seemed like they turned her into a siege engine. That's a good point, actually. That's actually an excellent way of putting it. And yeah, like, it does cancel a lot of ultimates, so it's not, it's gonna feel bad, because it's like, just did a 5,000 damage, but, you know. I think that's one of the biggest things that probably, is that our gun requires slightly more precise aim. Oh my god, I fucking hate Reddit. You know what will make her viable? A light bridge that only her team can work on, but everyone can walk and shoot through. Another high health barrier for Anna to be useless through. I mean, I have always been of the opinion that that isn't a drastic issue, though, what the fuck, I'm a Symmetra main now. Understandable. Have a great day. Alright. I feel as if millions have suddenly cried out in terror. I'm not that bothered. Like, whatever. I'm not particularly concerned about it, because if the Symmetra comes up and starts tasing me, I'll still beat her to death before she microwaves me to death. Like, I'm not that bothered about it. As a Reinhardt main, these changes don't really terrify me. But I've also been of the opinion that Reinhardt is currently fine, so perhaps my opinion differs here. Enough fucking rambling around. Alright, so changes seem great for Symmetra. I think they're going to be really unhealthy for the game. Let me know what you think, though I suspect most people I know are going to hate it. So, thank you very much for watching if you did, and I hope you found the video insightful, entertaining, something or other, whatever. Good talk, team.